All right, hey guys, here we are back for another Golf Clash guide here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Thor's Hammer. Let me see what I got in the shop. Kingfisher, nice. What I'm going to do, you guys saw the shot that I did earlier with the Apocalypse. I'm going to try, I'm kind of leaning on Tightener Kingmaker. It is a slight tailwind, which is going to, the more wind that you have, kind of the better, just to kind of get it as long as possible. But here's what we're going to try to do. So let me get in this bracket. Oh, one-person bracket. I'll take it. So I'm going to jump in here real quick. Let's go ahead and switch bags here. We're going to throw on. Oh, I don't have the updated club yet. It shouldn't matter accuracy-wise. There's no accuracy change. There's no distance change. So it should play pretty similar. And we're just going to do this. I'll use the Thor 5. I got to remember to go in. I just got a 6 like 2 days ago. So you already saw the one way that I played it, which was, if you want to watch the other guide, it's landing right around here where I'm pointing, with a lot of curl. Alternatively, what we're going to try to do is another curl shot. So you'll see that I'll try to do, very similar to what you see my opponent doing here. I'm just going to max my curl out. I'm going to try to land just a little bit more right than him because I won't be able to curl quite as much. But you can see how far we can get up there. I can get up there equally as far as my opponent did. It might just take some tweaking and mastering the adjustment. Especially with, not knowing really where I can land too much. So, I'm kind of thinking that, I'm going to treat this as... I'm looking at kind of my blue ring up there. So I'm going to assume that I've kind of already gone 3 rings. And I'm going to go in the neighborhood of 8. So I'm kind of thinking somewhere down here with very, very little power. So this is about 8 rings or so. And we're just going to max curl it. And you can see very, very little power. Here comes perfect ball. Let's just see how this goes. My very first attempt here, it looks like, oh, I can't curl it hard enough. So that might make things interesting. You'll have to get more aggressive towards the right-hand side if you want to use a Thor's Hammer. So curl is going to be a very good attribute here, as you pretty much need max to be able to get that over there. Alternatively, you could probably do some kind of hook shot with a Thor's Hammer, but that can also be, semi-risky as well. You'll want to be very careful. But another thing I could have done, I could have got more aggressive towards the right. So I was playing at about 8 rings, and I was playing at about 3 rings up in the fairway just to make sure that I was playing it safe. And if I wanted to kind of change my adjustment, I'd have to kind of lower to maybe 1 ring from the edge as opposed to 3 rings from the edge. So I'll just have to change that alignment a little bit. And that's, more or less what I would recommend for you guys. Now here, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to bump this off this fairway and kind of get it to run out just a tiny bit. This is up a hill though. I'm going to use about 3 on the top spin, give or take. Landing right about here. Now, I don't know really how accurate this is. If I had to guess, I'd say I'm probably about 4 per ring, somewhere around 3 rings for this club. Perfect ball. Let's just see how this plays out. Whew. So very, very close. It looks like I needed just a little more than 3 rings. So if you're in that bunker, you would have to match my accuracy. But what I basically was playing that out was about 4 per ring. For a Malibu, it's going to be a little bit different, and same with if you have a higher level sniper or a higher level Spitfire, that's also going to change. So I would assume that your adjustment would almost double. For instance, I do believe the accuracy 60, but I was just kind of going off of memory. So let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, 65. So if you're playing something that's 90, 100, you know, it's going to significantly change the way that you're playing it. So if I went, we're at around 3 rings for that, and it was just a little bit light, you would need to alternatively go on a Malibu, probably at least, I would say 5 rings, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe even, 5.5-ish rings, if you do wind up in that bunker for whatever reason. So hopefully you find that tip useful, and if you get there, hopefully you can keep it out of it all week. I don't see any reason why you should be there, especially if you use the curling epoch. But this at least gives you kind of multi-perspective and gives you a starting point to try to learn what you're going to need to do with that Thor's hammer. You can see that it's going to be a little bit more of a risky shot. So really being able to, even if you had to go epoch 4, epoch 3, having that extra curl attribute and just winding up a little bit shorter because you don't have the top spin is going to be better than where I put it. However, if you do want to kind of perfect that Thor's hammer shot, you should be able to get very aggressive towards the right-hand side. Keep in mind it will bring the water into play, but it should be, in theory, possible for you to land, within 1 ring of the edge and be able to get that up there by the green and probably outdrive where you saw my opponent go. So good luck with that hole, guys, and I'll see you guys on hole 2 coming up.